All right, so picking up where we left off, I want to talk through a few quick things that you want to be thinking about when recording your effects, okay? So the first is we talked about base points in the last video, and if you haven't checked that out, be sure to check that out here. It's the 30 days to become a lighting ninja. Watch the playlist and make sure you check out the previous video before you check out this one, because what we talk about today isn't going to make a lot of sense unless you've gone through that video on creating your first effects first. So when we go to save our effect, there's a few things we can do, and how we work with it is really going to affect things. So right now, I've gone in and I've just touched my parameters. I have gone ahead and, so let me go ahead and clear one thing. So I've made this effect on the yellow, and I've also made the effect on the movement of the intensity. Sorry, the intensity, not the movement. So I've got the yellow effect and I've got the movement effect. Now, when I built it, I was showing it to you guys, not as a yellow effect, but an effect like this that went from cyan to green. But the cyan being brought up to full actually isn't technically part of the effect, right? Because it's not moving. It's not an effects part of the show. And so the question then becomes, do I want to record this as a cyan turns to green effect with intensity? Or do I want to record it as a yellow effect plus intensity? And what you choose here really matters, because if I go ahead, so say I record this as just like this, from white to yellow and with the intensity, okay? I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to press record in my console. There you see a nice record window from MPC. Going to go find a place to record it and record it right here. Awesome. So we'll just call this test. Perfect. So now I'm going to play that back, bring it up to full here, clear up my programmer, and we get exactly what we recorded. Nothing more, nothing less. And so now it's like, okay, I've got a yellow, adding yellow effects and an intensity effect. So now if I go ahead, say I turn my front lights here to yellow, nothing happens because the effect is on yellow. So when I bring the lights to blue, I actually see on my effect a blue to yellow effect. Now, why do I see that? Well, if I dig into my console here, I can see that I programmed a 0% value in the effect for each light. And so because I've done that, it's going to always come to yellow from whatever my background color is. Pretty cool. But if I hadn't defined a background color, then I would actually be able to go ahead and select my lights and go ahead, bring up that cyan. And now, if I hadn't defined that base point, I'm able to play it back like this. And so hopefully this isn't too confusing, but I want to highlight something that's really important with any type of effect, whether it's color, whether it's intensity, whether it's movement, it does not matter. But when you're recording your effect, and this is in any console, you need to make the decision, do I want to define a base point for this effect to run off? And then every time I bring that effect up, the console is going to go to that base point and then run the effect, so it looks exactly the same every time? Or do I want the effect to be more dynamic? Do I want the effect to work its way into whatever I've brought up on the stage and to use whatever's on the stage as the base point? And when you do that, you want to record it as having no base point. And then, I can go ahead and bring up magenta. Now this yellow and intensity movement has turned into a magenta to red plus intensity movement. Or if I just go back to no color, it's a yellow. Bring back the cyan, it's the green, or bring up the magenta and it's the red. And so what I often like to do is record my effects with no bass. But there are instances where I go ahead and I want to make sure that the effect plays back exactly as I programmed it every time. Like I do this a lot in corporate events. Say the company's colors are red and white. I want to record a base point in my red-white chase so that something else doesn't accidentally leak in when I play back that chase and I'm meaning to have the company's colors in it. All right. And then the next thing that you want to mention, I know we're passing the 5 minutes and I'm trying to keep these short so they're easily digestible for you guys, but you want to think about stopping your effects, okay? Because at times, say you're playing back something like this where you've got two effects running on one fader. Not always what you want to do, but sometimes it is what you want to do. Then I want to stop just the intensity effect. Well, I can't stop the effects cue and expect that intensity effect to stop and the color to keep going. It's not going to work. So you need to go into your console in M Series. It's quite easy via the effects macro. And you need to go ahead and just turn off that effect that you don't want. So here I'm turning off the effect for the intensity. And because I didn't have a lifetime set, you saw it just snap in. Now I just have the color effect. I could then hit the end of the song and the music. And then, hey, I want to turn off the color effect too. Just go to the color I had. Boom, we're there. So those are the two things to really think about as you're recording is how do you record? Do you use a bass point? And then how do you stop things when you need to stop them and you don't necessarily want to stop everything that's on that fader? All right, guys. So in our next video, I'm really excited because I'm going to start talking about playing back your show. And so the next video I think I'm going to do in front of the camera. But then after that, we're going to hop back in the visualizer and be talking about some specific techniques that I like to use in situations where they really help me create fresh, great looks on the stage that really fit the music and look natural and therefore create a great lighting show. So I think I've rambled on enough today, guys. If you haven't, of course, grab that free guide that I've been talking about, 4 things you need to know before you buy any lighting. It'll be here right on the screen. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. I'm really excited for the video that I've got coming for you.